Well, hello there. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it, to spin a globe and let your finger land on a place you know precious little about? That's precisely how I've always felt about Bhutan. Tucked away in the mighty Himalayas, it sounds like something straight out of a storybook. Its proper name, Druk Yul, translates to Land of the Thunder Dragon, which, you must admit, is a rather splendid and dramatic title for any country. It immediately conjures images of swirling mists, ancient myths, and peaks that scrape the heavens. It's a place that has intentionally kept itself at a slight remove from the frantic pace of the modern world, which only adds to its mystique and allure. The first thing you might notice if you were to look it up is its rather striking flag. It's a bold diagonal split of yellow and orange with a magnificent white dragon, or druk, clutching jewels in its claws right in the center. The yellow, I'm told, represents the temporal authority of the king, while the orange signifies the deep-rooted Buddhist spiritual tradition. And the dragon? Well, that's the country itself, roaring its identity to the world. It's not just a piece of cloth. It's a vibrant declaration of who they are, a perfect blend of earthly power and spiritual grace, a symbol that feels both ancient and incredibly alive. Now, where exactly is this mythical land? Find a map of Asia, look for the colossal giants of India and China, and nestled right between them, you'll find this small, landlocked kingdom. It's a sliver of serenity sandwiched between two of the world's most populous nations. Imagine being the quiet neighbor living between two bustling households. That's Bhutan. Its location has profoundly shaped its history, its culture, and its cautious approach to the outside world. It has remained a sanctuary, a pocket of tranquility preserved against the odds, protected by the formidable barrier of the world's highest mountains. Getting there isn't as simple as hopping on the next flight, which is part of its charm. The journey itself feels like a pilgrimage. It's a proper adventure, right from the very start. Every good journey begins with a bit of homework, a quick glance at the guidebook, so to speak. So, let's get our bearings with some of the essential details about this remarkable kingdom. The capital city is Thimphu, which is quite unique. It's one of the few capital cities in the world without any traffic lights. Instead, you'll find policemen in crisp uniforms directing traffic with wonderfully elaborate, almost balletic hand gestures from a little ornate box in the middle of the road. They tried installing a traffic light once, but the people complained, preferring the human touch. I find that absolutely marvelous. It speaks volumes about the place. Now for the numbers. Bhutan isn't a vast, sprawling country. Its total area is about 38,394 square kilometers, which makes it roughly the size of Switzerland. Within this compact space lives a population of just under 800,000 people. This low population density means there's a wonderful sense of space and calm. The currency they use is the Bhutanese ngultram, which is pegged to the Indian rupee, so you'll often find both being used, especially near the border. The official language is Dzongkha, a complex Sino-Tibetan language written in the beautiful Tibetan script. Thankfully for linguistically challenged travelers like myself, English is widely spoken, as it is the medium of instruction in schools. Bhutan's landscape is nothing short of breathtaking. It is, first and foremost, a country of mountains. The Great Himalayan Range runs right through its heart with staggering peaks in the north that soar over 7,000 meters. The highest, Gangkhar Puensum, is famously the world's highest unclimbed mountain, not for lack of trying, but out of respect for local spiritual beliefs. This reverence for nature is a cornerstone of Bhutanese life. The country is a vertical world. Icy, windswept giants, lush, subtropical plains in the south creating a dramatic and diverse terrain. This variation in altitude gives Bhutan a startlingly diverse climate. In the southern foothills, it can be hot and humid, with a tropical monsoon climate. As you travel north and ascend into the central valleys, the weather becomes more temperate, with warm summers and cool, crisp winters. Go higher still, and you enter an alpine world of harsh, cold conditions where the land is buried under snow for much of the year. This means you can, in theory, experience several different seasons in a single day's journey. The country has made a solemn promise to the world, enshrined in its constitution, to maintain at least 60% of its land under forest cover for all time. At present, it's well over 70%, making it one of the few carbon-negative countries on Earth. These forests are teeming with life. And then there is the national animal, the takin. To understand Bhutan is to immerse oneself in its vibrant culture, which permeates every aspect of daily life. One of the most visible expressions of this is the national dress. Men wear the go tied at the waist by a belt called a kira with a large pouch at the front. Women wear the kira, an ankle-length wrapped cloth dress paired with a light outer jacket called a tigo. By law, these must be worn in schools' government offices for formal occasions. A street filled with people in traditional attire, a living link to their heritage. Food is at the heart of the community. Bhutanese have a particular fondness for chilies often used as a main vegetable. The national dish, emma datshi, a fiery stew of chilies and local cheese. Rice is the staple. Red rice is especially popular. Meals are communal, family gathers, shares stories, enjoys robust flavors. Festivals, or chechus, are spectacular displays of culture. Religious events in monasteries, dzongs, fortress monasteries. Communities gather for days to watch masked dances by monks. Archery is the national sport. Competitions with men in their goes showing astonishing skill. Archery events are social. Singing, dancing, a way of life that values connection, to family, to community. Bhutan's history is not so much written in books as it is etched into its landscape. Ancient monasteries clinging to cliffs, formidable dzongs guarding every valley. For centuries, it was a patchwork of small, warring fiefdoms isolated by rugged terrain. The story of unified Bhutan begins in the 17th century with Ngawang Namgyal. He fled Tibet, arrived in Bhutan, and set about unifying the country. He established a dual system of government: the spiritual leader, the Jikenpo, the temporal ruler, the Druk Desi, and he built the magnificent dzongs that still serve as administrative and religious centers today. Before unification, history is steeped in myth and legend, especially the arrival of Buddhism. Guru Rinpoche, or Padmasambhava, is said to have flown to Bhutan on the back of a tigress in the 8th century. He landed at the cliffside now called Paro Taktsang, Tiger's Nest Monastery. He meditated there for 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, and 3 hours, subduing evil spirits and anchoring Buddhism in the soul of the land. His presence is felt everywhere. When one thinks of a country's economy, words like GDP, industry, and exports usually come to mind. Bhutan, however, has a rather different and, I think, quite brilliant primary metric: gross national happiness, or GNH. This philosophy was introduced by the 4th king, Jigme Singye Wangchuck, in the 1970s. It's based on the simple but profound idea that true development should not be measured by material wealth alone, but by the spiritual, emotional, and cultural well-being of the people. GNH is built on 4 pillars: good governance, sustainable socio-economic development, preservation of culture, and environmental conservation. This doesn't mean the conventional economy is ignored. The main drivers of Bhutan's economy are hydropower, agriculture, and forestry. Fast-flowing rivers, fed by Himalayan glaciers, are a source of immense potential for clean energy. Bhutan generates a great deal of hydroelectricity, using what it needs, and exporting the surplus to India. Hydropower is Bhutan's single largest export and a cornerstone of its revenue. It's a clever, sustainable way of turning water into national wealth without harming the environment. Another significant contributor is tourism, managed with a high-value, low-volume policy. The government limits the number of tourists by setting a minimum daily fee. That fee covers accommodation, a licensed guide transport. It's a thoughtful, long-term approach to sharing their country with the world. If you are fortunate enough to visit Bhutan, you are in for a visual and spiritual feast. The most iconic landmark, the one that graces every travel brochure, is the Paro Taksang, or the Tiger's Nest Monastery. It is, quite simply, one of the most astonishing places I have ever seen. The monastery clings precariously to a sheer cliff face, 900 meters above the Paro Valley. The hike up is a pilgrimage in itself, a steep 2 to 3 hour climb through pine forests draped in Spanish moss. But every step is worth it. As you round the final corner and see the temple complex appear through the mist, it's a moment of pure magic. Beyond the Tiger's Nest, the dzongs are the heart of every major valley. These are colossal fortresses that function as both administrative headquarters and monastic centers. Punakha Dzong is perhaps the most beautiful. Known as the Palace of Great Happiness, it sits at the confluence of two rivers: Phochu, the male river; Mochu, the female river. Whitewashed walls, red gold roofs, a lovely cantilevered bridge, spring jacaranda trees in full purple bloom. It was the site of the first king's coronation. For those seeking to get off the beaten path, Bhutan offers countless hidden gems. Phobjika Valley, a vast U-shaped glacial valley and protected conservation area. In winter, it becomes home to hundreds of rare black-necked cranes migrating from Tibet. Thimphu, the capital, has its own unique charms. While Bhutan may be a small nation, it has been shaped by some truly remarkable individuals whose influence is felt to this day. The most revered figures in the country are, without a doubt, the members of the royal family, the Wangchuck dynasty. The third king, His Majesty Jigme Dorji Wangchuck, is often called the father of modern Bhutan. He was a visionary who gently opened the country's doors to the outside world, introducing modern education and healthcare, protecting its culture. His reign laid the foundation for the unique path Bhutan walks today. His son, the fourth king, His Majesty Jigme Singye Wangchuck, is celebrated globally for his revolutionary concept of gross national happiness. He ascended the throne at the tender age of 16 and guided Bhutan through a period of immense change with incredible wisdom. It was he who introduced democracy to Bhutan, believing that the country should be in the hands of its people, and who abdicated in 2006 to make way for his son. The current king, His Majesty Jigme Kesar Namgyel Wangchuck, Queen Jetsun Pema, are deeply loved by their people. Known as the People's King, he has continued his father's legacy of compassionate and forward-thinking leadership. For instance, did you know that Bhutan is the only country in the world that has banned the sale and production of tobacco? Here's another one that I find utterly delightful. There are no traffic lights in the entire country. A policeman directing the flow of cars. A traditional delicacy is Cordyceps sinensis, a fungus that grows out of a caterpillar's head. What a place!